There's a little more room in Studio 5 than usual this evening. Rudolph, a.k.a. Vantien, is absent as he's gone for a final fitting for his party hat ready for his mother's birthday tomorrow. So we're taking advantage of the fact that he forgot to properly lock his drinks cupboard before he went. Don't worry that you'll find out. He never listens to this rubbish if he's not in it. And the apology officer has sent an apology, as she's apparently having some problem finding a virgin where she lives. Or something similar. I admit I wasn't listening. But fear not. The rest of us are here. And our nonsense is up to its usual standard, for which we heartily apologise. Time now to... Sorry? What do you mean? We can still hear him. That dungeon's supposed to be soundproof. What's he saying?
Our lives are live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hutton Orbital Live. I'm your host for this evening, Harry, don't mind if I do, Balzac. And joining me at a sensible distance this evening, I blame the curry,
Wilma, if you can think it, I've done it. Fingerdo.
Juan, no, it's not a bloody caterpillar. Care.
And I'm Norma. This epithet better not be rude or I'll hit you with my pan. Snookers.
And that's our crew. Time for some headlines. For those of you watching in black and white, the grey is behind the grey.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Duval.
It is time for the lake on Sharabang.
Flossies are Wonder Woman.
The shunned, stunned, outbreak heartache.
And now for the BGS weather. Dull, with a chance of meatballs.
Pin back your luggles. It's Norma's night neighbourhood news.
And finally... Commander Alec Turner likes games. This much is well known. What is less public knowledge is that he's inordinately fond of bar games. Alec eagerly looked forward to a nice pint and maybe a game of darts when he arrived at the Vala Visitor Complex recently. A nice frosty pint, that is. After all, when it comes to beer in stomachs, it's always ice cold in Alec's. Well, you can imagine the twin blow, can't you? Not only won't the barman shut up about under-the-counter deals, which reminds me, quite frankly, with the amount of contraband goods those tapsters keep behind the counter, it's amazing that they have any room for beer. But there's not a dartboard in sight. Not a skittle alley, not a shove half-credit board, no bar billiards table, and 3 men's Morris is nowhere to be seen. But the less said about Morris, the better. Like truckers everywhere, Commander Turner is happy to work using the philosophy of, if you build it, they will come, if only to stand around and laugh. So he decided to build the John Peel Memorial Pool Table. Unable to find steel balls, Alec was forced to improvise with 16 Guardian orbs that he'd had to accept elsewhere in exchange for some dodgy videos starring Cecil from his blue period, back when he was young and needed the money. Using his SRV and feet, Alex spent what we estimate to be a bit over 45 minutes collecting Guardian orbs that he'd previously carelessly scattered around the complex and manoeuvring them into the bar, until at last he stood there triumphantly surveying his handiwork. Commander Alec Turner had done it. He'd created the galaxy's largest pool table, a triumph in anyone's estimation, and with only 3 small drawbacks. 1. There were no pockets. 2. Where the heck could you get a cue big enough to hit those balls? In any case, wouldn't it end up breaking the windows? And 3. The balls were all of the exact same colour, meaning that any gameplay would only be exciting to the colourblind. Undeterred, Alex has vowed to continue in his quest to improve facilities in all of the bars in the bubble, and he's promised to introduce snacks such as Thargoid scratchings, which may of course lead to life-size Space Invaders being played on the planet, and Jenga to be played with stacks of Thargoid probes, once he's solved the corrosion problem to stop them melting through the floor.
Vanity of vanities. All is vanity. The Pilots Federation have received complaints recently that the quality of the standard issue selfie stick left much to be desired, and that pilots eager to show themselves off in the best possible light were constantly getting into trouble when, click, their camera came unstuck from their slick stick in a tick really quickly. Pilots who used their selfie stick to show them walking elegantly around station concourses left getting blackouts on their camera, often leading to unexpected tumbles downstairs and blackouts of a more painful and bruisey kind. Worse fate still awaited those foolish enough to attach their selfie stick to the outside of their ship in order to catch the light of a solar flare glinting off their new ship kit, or to capture an image of their daredevil flying as they twisted and turned through those non-existent canyons, just as the stick got caught on some ground-based lifeform, and the screen went black, immediately before they collided with one of those non-existent mountains. Eager to reduce their insurance payouts, the Pilots Federation have vowed to improve matters by adding wireless technology to their selfie cams, eradicating the need for telescopic sticks altogether, thus removing the risk of a cable failing out of the camera at inappropriate moments. This boon to the weary but vain traveller is expected to fuel a vast increase in the upload of such interesting screenshots as, here's me in front of my asp. Here's me in front of someone else's asp. Here's me in front of some biological samples. And sorry about that one, I forgot to move my thumb. While shares in GalTube have shot up along with those in companies specialising in makeup for the face, the faceplate, and the cabin fascia.
This week, rumours about shortages of components required to build spaceships have started to emerge, exacerbated by the announcement that, at some point in the future, most pilots will be required to fit an extra seat in their cockpit, no matter how small or how cramped they currently are. Owners of Imperial cutters are naturally incensed that they must share some of their football field-sized cockpit with yet another member of the human race, no matter how far away, whilst pilots of Imperial Eagles are nervously stocking up on underarm deodorant and little pine trees to hang from what would be the rearview mirror in any sensible arrangement. The Pilots Federation have not, at the time of writing, confirmed how this new arrangement of seating is destined to work. Will there be an extra pip for this incomer to play with? What will be their duties, assuming that most functions are already being taken care of, thank you very much? Perhaps this new position will be for the ship's catering officer, someone to refill the coffee dispensers, cut the crusts off the sandwiches, and make sure that the ice-making machine is functional at all times. We just hope that the redesign has taken into account necessary adjustments, such as the number of cubicles on board, as a queue for the lavvy in a small spaceship isn't very comfortable nor very hygienic, and it's awkward when everyone tries to use the bathroom mirror at the same time. We are given to understand that if your ship is one of the types that will be required to fit an extra seat, then you will move up to another taxation class, and there will be extra checks, as you will have to declare your ship an SMO, or a ship of multiple occupancy, and you'll need extra lockers, more fire escapes, spare flight suits, and much more. All of this additional bureaucracy is precisely why you won't be seeing the new seats for some time to come. Here at Hutton Orbital, we have our suspicions about this new seat. Depending on where it's positioned, it may be like the front seats upstairs of an old double-decker bus, where you can sit looking out of the window, pretending that you're driving.
As you really should know by now, King Hankey's party at the end of the galaxy has been going on longer than the foreword to one of Commander Stroud's books. Most of the events that have taken place cannot be described in a family-orientated show. But as always, Flossy came to the rescue with a wholesome tale of larks, shenanigans, rescues of commanders who kept falling through the ship's trapdoors, ships with inappropriate loadouts, a fuel rat with a missing fuel scoop, disabled modules, though not the thrusters this time, luckily, and energy cells being used up at an inordinate rate due to Commander Flossy's tendency to talk for long periods. The highlight of the evening, though, has to be the presentation to Flossy by Commanders Rampage, King Hankey and Lou Snockers of a fully functioning, all mod cons, life-sized replica of Wonder Woman's invisible plane, plus full cosplay outfit. Lou and Hankey took turns jumping on the invisible plane whilst Flossy gamely donned the costume. We're not saying that Flossy really took to the Wonder Woman outfit, but she likes the way that the bracelets make her eyes sparkle. The lasso of truth might even replace her mighty pan, and with that outfit on, she may claim to be a pacifist, but those are powerful bazookas.
Poor Commander Westhorpe. After being released from the penal establishment, Pilgrim's Ruin, for the fourth time, where he was incarcerated as a result of his actions in trying to support the shunned, and being instrumental in helping them to win the Civil War, more calamity has been heaped up the head of Commander and his chosen faction. Pestilence in the form of an outbreak is sweeping the colonies. MODS, that's Mug Ownership Deficiency Syndrome. Hutton is starting the inoculation process by sending Commander Westhorpe the radio mug that he earned last week, but that will not be enough. We are calling upon pilots who can get to the Pencil Sector EO-Y D5 to assist in the decontamination. Take a mug if you can, but if not, basic medicines can stave off the worst ravages of mods until crockery-based relief can be applied. Earn mission points, money and the grateful thanks of a downtrodden faction as you put a mug on the table and a smile on their faces.
After the recent frisson of excitement with successive wars in VMS, outbreaks and lockdowns, this week has proven to be a pretty quiet time across Hutton space. Some might say a little dull, with most systems happy and some even elated. Narnia is suffering from an infrastructure failure, yet perversely its influence has increased. It can afford to lose some, so no need just yet to charge in there through the wardrobe and change the bulb in the lamppost, but there is a fleet carrier on station full of water purifiers if you really must. Pirates are trying their luck in Hill Pass Psi, so feel free to stop partying at any time and go and sort them out. We have 4 systems below 40% this week. Barnard Star and Epsilon Eridani, both on 34, need immediate attention. Wolf 25 and Ross 671 are a little higher on 38 and 39. At the top end of the systems league, we have 8 systems above 60%. We're expanding soon, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll retreat again some sunny day. Keep boosting with LP532-81 out in front on 81%. Meanwhile, in Colonia, Rajput Hanky asked that Chuckers win the election against Mobius in Tyr and fix the infrastructure failure there while they're at it. Oh, and generally boost the other three as well. Priorities this week are, if you want to truck something, boost Hutton influence in Barnard Star and Epsilon Eridani, and if you want to shoot something, engage the pirates in Hill Pass Psi.
Time to come bang up to date with events that have been organised by the community, for the community. Links to all these events will be posted in chat and in the description of the YouTube edition of the show. Firstly, it's Comfy Cannon Cruise News Time, sent by Commander Mephisto from his vantage point aboard the fleet carrier Konsu, as the cruise continues to revisit the trail of the original Cannon Challenge, helping many explorers, but especially novices, go further and with a little more direction than second star to the right and straight on till morning. Commander Mephisto writes, the Comfy Cannon cruise visited waypoint 59 with its sparkly Q03 type anomalies after refuelling at waypoint 558. Then a minor detour took the expedition to an impressive system with a black hole orbited by a white dwarf as well as 2 neutron stars. After 3 days of jumping, covering 30,000 light-years, Konsu will reach waypoint 60 in the Sagittarius Carina arm, probably during this radio show. From there, more than 40,000 light-years away from Sol, the cruise will explore the northeastern quadrant of the Milky Way next. Commander Yannick brings us an update from the Apollo 15 50th anniversary expedition, which in 3307 is obviously 1,286 years late. But we feel that at least their heart is in the right place. The eventual destination is the worlds of David and Goliath, but this week he tells us, the expedition has left the bubble far behind now, we're back into the black and new discoveries have picked up. But we're also encountering the systems mapped early in the present era of discovery, such as the famous Commander Alitnil, who found the Qinglong Caverns. It isn't just beautiful natural features we're seeing, but the artifacts of alien races like the Guardians. Our waypoint 5 was specifically laid out to further investigate the multitude of Guardian sites in this star system. Wonderful though this all was, there has been one nasty incident of note. A single troublemaker managed to somehow infiltrate the expedition's extensive security. The commander in question was thankfully an amateur and retreated fairly quickly. The damage to the expedition was minimal and we continue undeterred. This Friday sees the 50th anniversary of Apollo 15 landing on the moon. Its descent over the Apennine mountain range, flying between 2 mountains in a vulnerable spacecraft, must go down as one of the greatest feats of piloting in human history. This is our moment of celebration. We invite you all to watch on the moment with us. 07. The Rook platoon explores the Land Down Under expedition is about halfway on their trip via the Australis Ferris wheel to the southeastern corner of the galaxy, and mission liaison Commander Nicole Dyson has sent us this report of their progress. On our way to the Australis Ferris wheel, we had to cross the 6,000 light years gap between the southern arms of the galaxy. Notable Commander Richard Fluranis, one of the main event managers, scouted this area for us, of which we are most grateful, and made our route waypoint on EDSM for any commanders that need to cross that void. On the way, we identified some previously discovered waypoints, like the farthest Earth-like from Sagittarius, recorded at the time at 44,802 light-years, Aeolus Hypae LX-B C16-0, and a ringed ammonia world with rings that actually spun, Wimley LN-B D0. This week we finally made it to the Australis Ferris wheel and we had a great time. It took us a couple of hours to find a good spot to take pictures and do some fertilised PvP as per our religion. The main waypoint of our expedition has been reached. From this point on, the 3 carriers of our expedition will follow different routes to the bubble. And lastly, Commander Hunter has contacted us via the sub-ether wave band about an initiative that's coming up this weekend. He reports, "Hello everyone, have you ever wanted to rescue a fellow pilot? Then this is your chance to get to know the organisation behind rescuing ships that need repairs badly, also known as the hull seals. Get to learn how to rescue ships that are in dire need of help out there in the black or even in the bubble. The new Pilots Initiative and the Hull Seals are organising a rescue training day on Saturday, August the 7th. All information and coordination will be held on our Discord, discord.gg/newp. Will you be the next Hull Seal recruit? See you there, 07. Commander Hunter told us about the event that he's involved in, and if you'd like to do the same and get your event included, you can contact us on Facebook, Discord, or just email itookpart@huttonorbital.com.
And finally, Update 6 for Odyssey only dropped very recently. So here are just some headlines about the changes that we didn't have time to bring you tonight.
Patrols no longer look over their shoulder whilst walking, so we imagine that wall repairs should be reduced.
Enforcer troops have had their weaponry upgraded with KA-L6 rockets, apparently solely because of the incursions of certain Commander Rampage.
Supercruise Assist will no longer slam you into a planet if you approach just a bit too fast.
Traffic wardens will no longer issue tickets in conflict zones.
Military ships will no longer interdict you just for fun. They will now have to at least pretend that there's a valid reason by scanning you.
There was something about females complaining about lack of thrust, but details are sketchy at this point.
Engineer Kit Fowler has had his wrist slapped and told not to be greedy.
Flashlights can no longer be used to distract the enemy by making them think they've entered a red light district.
Commander Chix's invisible rocks and organics have finally had a coat of paint and should now be visible.
Agricultural planets no longer have onion head in the atmosphere, which should reduce the occurrence of floating fences and lampposts.
The oh-so-handy issue of ammo and heatsinks being replenished by galactic pixies each time you went into Supercruise has been resolved.
And finally, Commander Sally has been declared the all-time best presenter of patch notes, and we vote that she gets the job for life.
Oh, and we've got to the end of the news, and it was almost entirely seamless.
Almost.
Ish.
Almost.
Yes.
Almost
Yeah.
seamless.
Yes, seamless.
Seamless.
Seamless enough for this place. Well, everyone, hasn't it been an
Seamless-ish.
interesting few days?
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Has it?
What
Really?
did I miss? What happened?
Well, some stuff. Stuff and then things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, stuff, yeah. Yeah, you're right, stuff.
Yes. Okay, time now. Time now for Commander Chicks to do this week's joke, because he has flogged your Dyson with death, basically, and within an inch of my life. So, take it away.
I can't do the Dyson with death joke.
Not now.
Why
You
not?
couldn't before, but you did.
Well, we just have to say that the reason there are so few of us this week is because the Pilots Federation has been out collecting chairs. So there's only 4 chairs here in Studio 5. Is that the joke you meant?
That's it. Lovely.
God.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That's just to make us wish that Dyson with death was back here.
Yes.
Good. So, Super Cruise updates and stuff like that.
Well, that's a great start to the talky bits, I must say.
Yeah. It's like, hello, Harry. What have you been up to this week? Oh, we can do that in the green room later, can't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, green room, everybody
That's
out
green
there.
room.
Green
Yeah.
room today.
Green room.
Please come and talk to us because we're lonely and we need someone to talk to us.
Because David's not here, so we'll probably be done by 9:30.
Yeah, true.
Go on then. Somebody talk about whether. So,
Well, did anybody see Super Cruise News number
Oh, I
43 on
didn't this
Tuesday?
week.
I didn't. I
No.
watched it on Wednesday. Well, listen to it.
I haven't seen it so far.
I've never seen it, so do enlighten me.
You're our expert now.
Oh, apparently so. So they talked about the update, which landed today for those who haven't logged on. I did manage to have a quick look at it, and it looks pretty much like the last one, apart from the camera doesn't have black bits in it now, so that's good. New planet rendering. I didn't see enough planets, although I did see a marvellous picture of Meteorond Hollow, which looks very different. This thing about, I'm not convinced, you know, when you thought it was safe to hoon about in your SRV.
You reckon
that
they're just
invisible
trying
rocks-
to fool you and they say, "Oh, invisible rocks
I-
are gone, chicks. Why don't you
Just-
put your foot down and see what happens?"
So I haven't hit one today, but it doesn't mean they're not there. So I'm not
you got.
convinced.
So you're going
How
to
would you
go
know?
backwards and forward to do a sort of search pattern on the surface of planets until you don't run into
it's-
something that
it's
isn't
like
there.
It's like an invisible rock falling in a forest. Just because you haven't crashed into it doesn't mean it's not there. I'm glad somebody laughed. So, but anyway, the highlight of Super Q's number 43 for me was it sort of fell apart in a massive fit of arf and I always forget the other chap's name, giggles. It's about just under an hour and about 57 minutes in, if you were to look, because somebody puts up a sort of a picture of a planet on the horizon. You can just see the top half of it, and the other guy mentioned that in whichever Star Wars film it is where Darth Vader finally takes off his helmet, and it does look like the top of his bald, scarred
And
head.
he's doing his Humpty Dumpty impression.
Yeah, and that just ended the live stream there, and they were just incapable, just giggling for about a minute. It's quite funny. It's worth a watch. Anyway, we got update 6 today,
And
so-
that's a heck of a lot of fixes in that, aren't there? And I do have to say, I know we all like Sally anyway here, but I think the little bits, the tiny bits of humour that she put throughout those patch notes, absolutely
just
brilliant. It stops it being so dry, because some of these things and I think the self-referential way that she's basically admitting something. So, yeah, we knew about that, and these are the things you've been whinging about. Don't complain, now we fixed it. That kind of thing.
Perhaps you could, Harry, perhaps learn, maybe do some of that in the script, perhaps, maybe starting next week.
What, put humour in?
Yeah.
No, not gonna start that. Well, actually, you could do it next week because I'm not here. No, I've got a week off. This is my week off this century. Next week. Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
What else happened this week?
The postman, undeterred by the traps,
The red hauler.
that Amelia puts outside her door, actually managed to lob a parcel way probably from the other side of the road. And it actually
Did it
managed
come
to
in a
land.
plain brown wrapper? Like many other parcels.
Yes, it did. The Muggies have landed.
The Muggies have landed indeed.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes. Thank you to those involved, Mr. Nocty, Mr. Cow. Oh, it was missed somebody out. Shouty, Jude, of course. And anybody who was involved that I don't know is involved. And for you, the fools that voted for us.
Oh, right. Be like that. Right. Last time I voted for you this year, anyway.
It's a tiny inkling how a politician must feel on election, the morning after the election, the night before, and they think, God, did they really vote for me? It's dafter than I thought.
Yes, Dominic, they did.
I love the Muggies. I think the event is awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
yeah.
Good fun. Yeah. And
I think,
Simon does a great job.
yeah.
He really does.
oh, thank
They all
you.
do.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Flossy.
Simon Winard.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, sure.
Shouty,
Almost
not
Christmas
whiskery.
card to
Shouty.
I can shout.
Shout out for Shouty. Well done,
Shut
Simon.
up.
The Muggies also came. The Muggies also came with some artwork.
From Beetlejude.
Beetlejuice, indeed, originals.
Well, she's obsessed.
Yeah.
She can't stop doing it. You're helping her mental health by taking those away from her. Otherwise, she'll just disappear behind a pile of paper that she's drawn upon.
Crayons.
Yes. Yeah, nothing sharp.
Very good.
Mm.
I'm just.
What? Oh, Simon's just typing something. Oh,
It's aardvark. Aardvark.
Already?
It's surely it's not that time
It's
already.
the Hutton safe word, is it?
Yeah.
If
I think the thing is that because update 6 arrived this afternoon, not many people have had a chance to do very much in the way of testing it out. Unfortunately, I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say about it next week. But at this point in time, I've only seen a few people go and say, "Oh, most things are great. Well, maybe this bit's not quite there yet, but this is good." So it's generally very positive so far that I've seen, and that's
I
encouraging.
managed
I
a
went on-
quickie session this afternoon. Sorry, Flossy.
Yeah, I went on to quickly check it out earlier and noticed that the carrier was parked up somewhere. So I thought, oh, I know what, I'll go and have a quick scan of the system.
And what happened?
I didn't get back till the carrier was leaving. So I had to travel. Well, I travelled the 500 to the next waypoint just in time for
and then did you do
for
like the
lockdown
Proclaimers? Did
there.
you travel another 500 more?
another 500 more till I caught up with it yet. Oh dear. That
You
was
were-
supposed to be a quick 5 minutes to see how the new version was.
You had to let us know that because Hanky ratted you out to me earlier.
I knew he would.
I bet you just
Fortunately, I'd put my fuel scope back on after the other day.
and I bet you only honked and scanned all the systems in between, didn't you?
I just honked as I passed through, that's all. And even then, not always. Just when I remembered.
So yeah, I had a quick look. The camera's good because previously, Flossy was asking earlier about exobiology, and one of the plants, if you like, it's not really a plant. It's the bacteria, are flat on the ground. So unless you actually drive over one, you don't get to see them. So the best way is to use the camera, the free camera in your SRV, and as it goes up from behind your SRV, it blacks out in update 5, and now it doesn't. So sometimes you can see stuff just out of view ahead of you as the camera's going up. So yeah, and I didn't crash into any invisible rocks, but I'm convinced they're still there.
LCU apparently uses the camera from beneath his ship. And for the similar thing, but obviously the impact of getting your height wrong is a little bit more important in a ship than an SRV.
Or you can fly upside down.
I think that I don't usually use the camera on the SRV while I'm moving.
No, it's stopped. It's all in one subtle movement. I can get the camera in the air, so whack on the handbrake, get the camera in the air before the thing's actually stopped. So you skid to a halt, usually through the live form you wanted to scan. But anyway, that's another story. Is it time for aardvark yet?
Yeah, go on. Let's go on. Let's go.
Oh, right.
Well, I look at my watch and it tells me it's time. Time I put in a new battery. I'm here all week, folks. Try the chicken, but don't get caught. Let's raise the tone. It's over to Flossy with the CG news.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's Community Goals News. First, last week's CGs. Deliver goods to help outfit Fargod megaships. Finished short of Tier 4 with over 14 million tonnes collected by 1,953 contributors. And protect the initiative to outfit Fargod megaships. Finished short of Tier 2 with over 24 billion credits earned by 1,198 contributors. As both CGs pass Tier 1, the top 75% will receive the Xeno Ally Reach the Stars decal. The top 50% will additionally receive the Xeno Ally Handshake decal. And the top 25% will additionally receive the Xeno Ally Triforce decal. And now this week's new CGs. It is with deep regret that I have to announce that there will be no new CGs this week, possibly due to the implementation of Update 6 this afternoon. Hopefully they'll be back next week, so watch this space.
Flossy told you what to do.
When you said it is with deep regret, I thought, oh my goodness, somebody's died. Oh, no. and at your hand.
No, yeah. I died at somebody else's hand. Did he tell you that?
That's no, but it doesn't surprise me.
He ran me over with his SRV.
Watch out, careless SRV drivers. Now, it's a pity there aren't any new CGs this week, but I'm presuming a lot of people are spending their time trying to make sense of all that's happened in the galaxy today. Oh, for Odyssey pilots, anyway. Now, if anyone can make sense of what's happening in the galaxy, it's those digesters of data, Commanders Beetlejude and Wotherspoon. Wotherspoon. No, I think Wotherstone's better. So basically, if you listen to this and you still don't understand what's going on, there's no help coming for you.
Galnet News Digest, 29th of July 3307. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news,
NMLA attack their own after poll defeat.
Mission of Misery confirmed.
Return of the missing crew. Marlinist First Minister Jenna Fairfax is feared dead following 2 simultaneous attacks on Marlinist starports this morning. The death toll is still rising, but it is expected to be in the tens of thousands, with far more victims injured and maimed. Stillman Hub and Tillman Point stations were attacked by what initially appeared to be Thargoids, but an only partly coherent message from the NMLA made it clear that this was their handiwork. The message made heavy use of ironic rhetorical questions, suggesting that we ask ourselves why Theta 7 is bombing his own home. The message goes on to answer this question, saying that the Marlinist colonies are not homes, not colonies, but prisons where obsequious traitors to the cause of Marlinism beg for scraps from those who expelled them. Theta 7 makes clear that the Marlinist colonists, who chose not to elect an NMLA candidate as their prime consul, are not his people, and that true Marlinists, by which he presumably means the NMLA, will not stop fighting until they have restored the Republic of Achenar after its 1,000-year-long hiatus. There seems to be little appetite in the Empire to depose the Emperor and declare a republic, so we can only assume that Theta 7 and his fellow terrorists in the NMLA will fight on well into their old age. Meanwhile, the person the Marlinists actually did elect as Prime Consul, Ko Tau, has appealed for assistance dealing with the humanitarian crisis caused by the 2 bombings, appealing for ships equipped with passenger cabins and heat sinks to assist in the evacuation effort at Stillman Hub in HIP 22550 and Tillman Point in Hyades Sector RO-P B6-6. Meanwhile, the Thargoid-attacked station Kipling Orbital in Pleiades Sector KC-Y C2-11 also needs help in evacuating the inhabitants, and Malthus Terminal in Pleiades Sector HR-W D1-41 has started the repair process following a Thargoid attack and needs vast quantities of repair equipment delivered.
With 3 megaships paid for, the Order of the Far God has confirmed that it plans to do some god bothering. Only the god they plan to bother is the Far God, and the likely consequence is not only the imminent destruction of 2 perfectly good megaships, but the hastening of the return of the Thargoids to the human-inhabited bubble. The cultist formerly known as Leonard Yates, and who is now known as the 89th adherent of the 60th chapter, explained that the megaship known as the Testament will bring the good news about the coming apocalypse to every system in the bubble, 1 jump at a time. While the other 2 new megaships, the Perdition and the Sacrosanct, will go on what he described as a holy pilgrimage, carrying thousands of misguided victims, which he described as pilgrims, to commune with the Far God, which presumably means to meddle with the Thargoids and make them annoyed. The Far God cult seems to be doing the best it can to get that apocalypse moved up the schedule.
Do you remember all those crew members you lost? The ones you've given up for dead and replaced with new hires? Well, they're back. And they want to be paid. There was an unfortunate glitch in resurrection services at the Pilots Federation that meant that when commanders tried to rehire crew members after the ship they were on became unexpectedly disassembled, compressed or vaporized, the crew member was instead and incorrectly dispatched to Soylent Industries for a new life in the food industry. The good news is they're all still alive. A hitch in the manufacturing process over at Soylent meant that when the Pilots Federation discovered its mistake, it was able to retrieve many thousands of crew members and unite them with their commanders. This has the unfortunate side effect that some commanders will now find themselves with more than the normal limit of 3 crew members, and this may have something of an impact on the commander's earning potential. For the next 4 weeks, the Pilot Federation will operate a furlough scheme, with the commander's wage contribution capped at 45% of earnings. After 4 weeks, everything the commander earns can be swallowed up by the wages of their supernumerary staff. Commanders are advised to assess their staff, select the best 3, and slap redundancy notices on the remainder to ensure that profits are not unduly impacted. Soylent Industries has offered to buy back any unwanted crew members for use in their food production plants, so there's no need to worry that any crew members will go to waste.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.
Thank you, Commanders Beetlejude and Weatherspoon. My head hurts. But that's what happens if you run out of milk at breakfast and use Centauri Mega Gin on your cornflakes. Even worse if you have a second bowl. I'm going to close my eyes for a while, because with Mia Harkness missing in action, Commander Chicks is bringing us the sports report.
Good evening. I'm presenting the sports report on behalf of the apology officer. So please forgive the lack of a Scottish accent. If it helps, pretend I'm from Edinburgh, and I'll scooch down really low under the studio desk. Welcome once again to the reality check that is the Hutton Sports Report. The Hutton Sports Report is sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a photo of David Pearson installed to scare off the Trumballs. This week's events are the Mike Reed's Run Around Go 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 Cup Winners' Cup, the Doing the Christmas Shopping in July Like a Freak trophy, the Supermarket Home Delivery No Alcohol on a Sunday Morning Challenge, the Judge Dredd I Am the Law, Celebrity Pro-Am Charity Shield, the We Come in Peace Shoot to Kill Federate Corvette Demolition Derby, and the Don't Go South of the Bubble this time of night, Governor final. So, no trick shots, old offside rule applies, and one singer, one song. This week's results: Zebadian 23, Miggles 31415922, Light 027 45, Freaky Eyes 19, Little Big Yin 130, LDSK 110, Attic 66, Goatee 59, Millstone Barn 67, Happy Shrapnel 36, Above the Sky 765, Jintosh 116, Oban Saint 6, Cambuslang Hibernian 2, Stenhouse Mule 1, Octomurky 4, Hutton Academicals 4, Y0855-0714 Harriers 3, Queen of Kakari 2, Wolf Juniors 2. So, most winners this week already have their decal, but Above the Sky does not, so they are this week's star. Please email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of some glitter, a 1 kilo bag of sugar-free gummy bears, and a funnel. We have 3 Hutton runs this week. 2 of those are by 270 West, whose best time of 1 hour, 23 minutes and 33 seconds puts them in 42nd place overall. Wingnut 757 recorded a time of 1 hour, 24 minutes and 12 seconds, which puts them 100 places behind in 142nd place. Are you wondering how you can top the tables in Hutton Helper and become a gaming legend? Do you dream of the fame and fortune that could be yours as the proud owner of a Hutton decal? Well, don't sit around picking lint out of your belly button and wondering why it's blue when you've been wearing a black t-shirt. Zip up your flight suit, fling on your M-lock, and show the galaxy how awesome you really are. But before you do, go to hot.forthemug.com and download or sign up for the Hutton Helper. Then you can get out there and do some really weird stuff. But not your normal weird stuff. You might, Hutton weird stuff. Let's face it, anything has to be better than having to share a seat with a large, sweaty, bald man in a too-tight Dominator suit who keeps asking if you want to just talk about the first thing that pops up. And the lint is blue because it travels up, not down, and you're wearing jeans. Well, that's it for this week. Back to Studio 5.
Thank you, chicks. It's nearly time for the green room. So if you want to talk to us, load up TeamSpeak and point it to ts.forthemug.com. But first, we've got Amelia Hawke bringing us the Galnet Rares Digest, and this bit usually makes me very happy. That I don't have to do it.
Good evening. This is Amelia Hawke reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest. We try all the galaxy's rarest and most dangerous commodities, so you don't have to. It's not often that the tech in the galaxy is rare. It's everywhere you look, from the controls of your ship to your wristwatch, smart clothing. Mine even talks back to me. Your toaster, and even the lift in your private residence. Most of the galaxy's rare items are either edible, medicinal, or industrial. Technology? Well, where would we be without technology? Probably bashing rocks together to make sparks and hunting our food with pointy sticks. But you can't go anywhere these days without something glowing or beeping or talking back to you in sarcastic tones. So, it's comforting to know that at least somewhere in the galaxy, there's a piece of gadgetry and widgetry that's rare. And that's the case with the Dura drives. Some technology is designed so perfectly that it breaks down just one day after it exits the warranty period. That swanky new washing machine that even dries and folds your clothes nicely, that will work for exactly 3 years and 1 day. And then it will let out that magic smoke that tells you there's an expensive phone call in your near future. Not so with the Dura drives, the product of eccentric tech squillionaire Rackham, and the winner in a galactic contest versus a strange torque device. This handheld tablet is one of the most indestructible things in the galaxy. You can knock it, you can drop it, you can throw it against the wall, you can park your asp on it, smack it with a hammer, drop it in your bath. You can lob it out of your cargo scoop, scoop it back up again at full speed, accidentally feed it into your refinery, and you know what? It still reads your email. It still accesses Galweb, and it still plays Aruka Crush perfectly. If you visit any planetary settlement, those terminals that are stuck to the walls containing juicy data but seemingly impervious to grenades, laser fire, and clumsy oafery, those are Dura drives. The wall panels stating that it's been 2 days since the last incident, Dura Drive Max. Just try it. Smack one with the butt of your rifle, or your helmet, or a boot. Dura drives are made of the same kind of super unobtainium and indestructium alloy that those little advertising projectors outside stations, or navigation beacons. Not the ones you find crashed on planets, those are the old style ones that broke a lot. I mean the new ones that you can't smack into without taking a lot of damage. So, it's a tablet computer. It's totally indestructible. Totally unbreakable. Trust me, I've tried. So, why is it rare? There's a good reason that it's not on general sale in large volumes, or at a reasonable price. These things are so tough, it's likely your children's children's children will still be using them. They've attempted to milk the public through a never-ending range of accessories such as the bolt-on 3D printer, the detachable mining rig, the wireless settlement defense turret, and of course everyone's favourite, the Diamond Black Explorer bolt-on. But the computer? Well, it will outlast even the longest-lived of us, and possibly even the powers themselves. When future civilizations find the ruins of humanity, as we are with the Guardians now, other than some small walls and something that might once have been pottery, the only thing still left working will be a Dura Drive tablet. Galnet Rares wouldn't be the same without the danger. A few important notes for you. Don't drop your Dura Drive on your foot. It hurts. Don't swap flies with it unless you want holes in your walls. Don't crash into floating ones in your ship, or let one out of your sight to get sucked into an engine inlet. Don't leave one inside your engine bay and drive off. There's no give in them. They'll just destroy stuff. Also, never, ever, ever stick any body parts in the connecting terminal. The really powerful powers up everything, including the trolley jack for changing the wheels on your Scarab, or the spotlight you use to highlight parts of the moon from 2 systems away. Not if you like them uncooked. I know the terminal port's just the right size for a finger, but don't be tempted. Also, don't install hooky firmware on it, as it will brick the equipment. And by brick, I do mean literally turn it into something usable as a house brick. I'm Amelia Hawke, reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest, and I've started using my really expensive DuraDrive as a frisbee at the beach. Which is great until I realised I'd got sand in the connector port and now can't connect my industrial strength hairdryer accessory. I'm about to stick some tweezers in the socket. So you don't have to.
And of course, we all want to know what did happen.
I refuse to say in case I may incriminate myself.
And invalidate your warranty.
It's very difficult to invalidate the warranty of something that's indestructible.
No, I mean of the tweezers.
Oh, yes. You end up turning them into a couple of paper clips. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's if only more things were built as strongly as that. Obviously, the difficulty's got to be that since all that's ever made will all exist, I suppose the only way of stopping them getting used is when you run out of software upgrades for them, and then what the heck do you do with them? What do you recycle them as? Body armour?
Bricks.
Coasters.
Mm.
Well,
coasters. You mean some sort of offshore vessel?
Yes.
Icebreaker, I would have thought. Yes.
Anyway, green room.
Green room. So anybody who wants to head to the green room and hasn't done, get a move on, because we're going to be moving there very, very shortly. There will be a small patter of tiny running feet, and we will be there any moment now. Here we go.
Get your bums to the big green room.
And I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Chicks is
Chicks
gone.
is here now. I've moved him to the right one.
It was funny because I could hear the show like 20 seconds later.
And here we all are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to do. I'm going to do the order thing because I'm just basically going to do it the order that we're all on here. So, Amelia, Chicks, Flossy, me, and we'll get to the end of this. And if anybody else wants to join us while we're doing this, please feel free to come along and ruin my calculations. Okay. And away we go, Amelia.
Please come along and ruin his calculations. It would be so much fun. Aidan! Hello, Aidan!
Hello, Amelia.
How are you?
I've recently got back from Cecil's favourite bar in Seoul.
Which one's that?
This would be the one that a certain Vantayan may have mentioned, a merchant house in London.
Oh, yeah. On Bow Lane.
They are doing a thing about black tots at the moment.
Because it's the anniversary of the Navy abolishing it in 1970.
70,
yeah.
Oh, this is something I never knew.
Yes. because I'm guessing you knew that the Navy used to hand out a ration of rum to the sailors, low until distant years ago, and then it got to a certain point, and then the Navy went, no, we don't. People having rum is not necessarily a good thing on, as was then, a modern warship. So they went, right, we're going to stop this, even though the amount of rum dispensed had been, dropping as the years went past.
Yeah.
So,
did you have any cocktails while there?
yes. They had two specific ones. And they were phrased as the light side and the dark side.
Do I want to know?
Well, one involved burning alcohol being applied to the cocktail, and the other one didn't.
Oh, it's always good to have something flaming heading towards your face.
Well, fortunately, by the time they just went, they got some extra alcohol, flamed it, poured it over the cocktail, and then the flames went out. Because
you don't know.
But still, there were flames being poured all over my cocktail.
Nice.
Yes, it was. It was very nice, and as a result of that, on Saturday, on the anniversary, I now will be going along and claiming my free tot of rum, because part of the thing was A, support your local bar, and B, if you come along on the anniversary, we'll give you free rum. And I went, win-win-win, I believe is the technical term.
Free rum, I mean, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Aidan. It's about a 10-minute walk from me. I'll see you there Saturday.
Oh, yeah, sure. If you happen to be there, Jakes, just, ping me something on Discord, and I will happily meet you there and buy you a drink for the...
A free drink?
Yes.
Buy me some free rum.
I will buy you a drink at Merchant House if you happen to let me know you're turning up on Saturday in London at Merchant House for the quite useful guide on exploration, because, it was.
You're welcome.
I wish I didn't live so far away from London. That sounds cool.
It's funny, I walked past Merchant House today.
Yeah, well, have you ever been in?
No, it was... David told me about it during lockdown, so it wasn't open.
Yes, well, I introduced David to it.
All right. Very good. Anyway, Amelia.
Yes.
Sorry for the interruption.
No worries.
Send me a message on Discord, and I will happily drag you into Merchant House and introduce you to the wonders that it is.
So this is for the 50th anniversary or something? 50 years?
51, I think.
51, yeah.
Are they doing it every year?
Well, they do. Basically, because it is the bar is all set up around the merchant trade of the British history, and rum was quite a significant part of that. They do quite a good trade in rum. They've got some really quite good rum there. They also do a very nice line in gin. And a side order in whiskey. But
Picks up and pays attention.
So is this a thing they're going to do on a yearly basis?
Well, they generally do a thing about it every year anyway. Never mind the whole fact that we've just had a, support your local bar because, it's been shut for a while thing. But
because this does sound like a Hutton-worthy event type thing that we could be using as a gathering.
Certainly. You may or may not have heard about Cecil having a legless issue.
Isn't
previous.
Cecil always like this?
No, I believe a certain David did. There was a report about Cecil losing his legs, literally, as they fell off.
Do tell.
I'm sure it's in the archives somewhere, but it's got to be at least 18 months, if not 2 years ago. Whereupon the aforementioned Vantayan happened to be in London, and I happened to live in London, and we decided, well, as he's around, we'll meet up, go to Bodine's, have good food, and then oh no, we've got a little bit of time to spare. If only we knew that there was a bar nearby that did good spirits. So
Bodine's, is that the place where they do the donut burger?
They do barbecue stuff of all kinds.
Ooh, all right. Barbecue is kind of my thing.
So yes, if you happen to be in London, Amelia, let me know, and I will be forced to drag you to Bodine's. And
forced
yes.
At gunpoint.
Oh yes. And then after that, I will be forced to drag you kicking and screaming to Merchant House.
Right, okay. Well, this anniversary thing seems really cool. It might be a cool thing to do next year and try and get as many truckers as possible to go.
Yes, it's
as long as the pandemic allows, obviously.
No, I was just thinking whether or not it falls on a Sunday, because they may, it. Depending on what day it falls on, it might be slightly more complicated to get a collection of truckers there. Because if it turns up on a Monday, then it's mildly complicated. If it turns up on a Sunday, well, that may be less complicated.
True.
Well, we have a year to think about it.
Yes, I was going to say we have a year to think about it. I haven't been to London in it feels like a long time. It's only been about a year and a half. I used to go regularly. I need to get out off my bum and go again because I love London.
Well, I live there, so my opinion of it varies.
I probably love it because I'm not living there.
Yeah, that's a reasonable assumption. I mean, last week I was down at my parents' and going, thank God I'm not in London. But also, as you may have heard, I did actually manage to meet up with that there Vantayan for some cooked meats and beer.
Cooked meat and beer doesn't get much better than that.
Well, cooked meat and good spirits. Yeah, I'd go with that.
But good spirit comes with cooked meat and beer. Or do you mean literal spirit?
Literal spirits.
Oh, well, you can have spirit instead of beer.
Yes, but it was just sort of bringing a bottle along was probably neither of us would have been in a fit state the following morning.
There's nothing wrong with that either. As long as you're willing to pay the price, the next day.
I may have had stuff to do, and also I kind of had to return home for my in time to get a taxi back from the station because, that was the deal, as it were, with my taxi service.
So, anything else?
No, I think I've yammered on long enough.
Yammered.
Well, what else would you call it?
It's good to catch up. It's nice to hear these stories, and it's really cool that this bar doing things like this. This is really cool.
Yes, well, I suspect that I know that there is a person that's going to be in London in September a lot. I may have to go there a few times in September. It's going to be a trial.
Oh, think about the poor person who has to run the show where that person's not around. Thank you very much.
You can be bribed with good gin, I'm sure.
Oh, I can be bribed with cheap gin, don't
I subscribe to the opinion that if you're gonna do it, you might as well provide a good quality, because then when they have less of a hangover after they've drunk all of it, you might get more out of them. Just saying.
Sounds reasonable. Right, well, the Aiden Show is going on to its second season now.
Yes. Anyway, I've stopped my promotion-y business, so for the mug.
For the mug, Aiden.
Chicks, it's you.
Who am I talking to?
Amelia.
Oh, we're going to do it that way. Hi, Amelia.
Hello, Chicks.
I haven't spoken to you in ages. How are you?
Yeah, it's been minutes.
It's on at seconds even.
Seconds.
So what have you have you downloaded update 6 yet?
I have not. No.
Right. So you must have been doing something this week then. What was that?
I've been very boring. I've been working, but in my defense,
you call that work?
I know, right? In my defense, it's the coolest job ever. You know.
No. A Spitfire pilot would be the coolest job ever, or an astronaut.
No, I work. I make games, dude. Spitfire pilot ain't got nothing on me.
I don't know.
But no, I mean it's been a really cool week. But I haven't been gaming at all. Which no, I know I haven't been gaming at all. To be honest, Odyssey it's not been the best thing for me because I like VR and Odyssey kind of breaks my immersion.
Well, only if you go down planets.
Well, yeah, but if you've got Odyssey, you want to go down on planets, don't you?
Well, going down on planets is nothing new. On foot.
Oh, if only Deb Meat wasn't sitting there in the background sniggering.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I know.
But I have noticed.
It's brilliant. You've got to do it.
I have noticed that my graphics have taken a hit as well, and I don't know why. I've still got to fiddle with the settings and see if it's that.
The two things I paid attention to today, or I tested, if you like, or just fiddled with, was one, I looked at the FPS, and it was pretty good because I thought, it's slightly confusing. I just got a big monitor this week, so I'm kind of still playing with that. But it was noticeably better. And when I flicked, the controller flicked on the FPS, it was solid 60.
And that's after this latest update.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's entirely due because I didn't really pay any attention to it previously. But I thought, wow, that looks really good. I was on a planet with lots of sand dunes, and the sort of the graduation of the shadows, I thought, wow, that's brilliant. So I looked at the FPS and it was pulling 60. So whether that's update 6, but it's I've never had a problem with it. And the other one, of course, I mentioned earlier is the camera.
Yes. Well, I mean,
they don't get blackouts.
You don't get blackouts anymore. I used to get blackouts all the time. I never used it because
we go back to this rum thing again.
Rum. Okay, let's talk about rum. I like rum.
I thought we were going back to. I thought that's where the blackouts were coming from.
Well, I was kind of, because it's still bleeding on, and I'd rather be outside than. So in the autumn, when I get back to doing some more Hutton A to Z, when the weather turns, I was looking at Odyssey thinking, A to Z is going to be a pain in the arse, because if you do a nice sequence, then you get a bit of a blackout. You think, oh shit, I'm going to have to redo that or cut it and do something else. But now it's great. So thumbs up from me.
Well, at the moment, I'm so busy. I can't really spend the time appreciating it for what it is. So I'm kind of hoping that, they'll start working on it a bit more in the next, few updates. But I'm okay. I'm cool with that. I'm an easy goer when it comes, when it comes to Elite Dangerous. I go in the game with expecting an almost Zen-like state, such as what mining does for me.
Blowing up rocks.
Blowing up rocks, big explosions in space. That's kind of my thing, and I consider it very relaxing. But I do like the graphics to be on point, But I still haven't really experienced planetary, on foot yet because it doesn't like VR, and I don't like it in VR.
up with VR. It's all low res anyway, isn't it?
Well, not my VR system.
Yeah.
My VR system's pretty good. But it's the immersion. It's the immersion more than anything. You know, you can't use a mouse and keyboard and a VR headset. You know, you have to. Yeah. You know, you have to spend the time.
Hands on a hot ass.
And the thing is when you take your
Lou?
and when you take your VR headset off, your monitor is still keyed into your VR headset, so
the tiny screen,
yeah, which you actually have to point the VR headset at in order to see. And then because you're using a VR headset, it doesn't show up on your screen properly. It's all a big mess.
Tiny screen because it's low res.
Yep. Anyway, I'm not going to moan about it because I'm not a salty person. I'm just going to wait a little while because they'll get around to it. You know what they're like.
Hold your breath. Not for on planets.
Don't hold your breath.
Well, eventually, one day, I have hopes.
If you do want to play a VR, sort of a first-person shooter, Alyx, ALYX.
I have heard about this. I was thinking about getting it.
It's funny. I've got it. I went into it the first day just to make sure it worked, and I've never touched it since. So I've had that for over a year now. But,
did it work or did
it? No, it worked. It was like wow, you know. So that is proper, first person VR.
I have been considering getting that one. Yeah. It does look good.
Keep your eye out for the. It's a Valve, isn't it? So it's probably Steam. Keep your eye out for a sale.
A Valve? I don't own a Valve.
No, Valve is the software developer.
Oh, okay. I thought Valve was Steam's headset.
I thought it was something in old TVs.
No, Valve.
Anyway, yep. I've talked enough. So I'm just going to say for the mug.
For the mug, yeah.
And now it's me to talk to chicks.
Hello, Flossy.
Hello, chicks.
I've just told you what I've been doing all week.
From you. Yeah, I know.
So you went in game as well today?
I did, yes. Just check it out for a few minutes.
Yeah, I jumped a few systems, found a system. Let me just... Shall I check the spreadsheet?
Oh, yeah, I saw that spreadsheet. Looks really impressive.
I just found a system, and Planet 4 satellites D, E, and F all have 5 biologicals each. Oh, sorry, 5. So the last one's got 4, so...
Nice.
Because otherwise, when I go in there, I can't bloody remember. Like, how many did this one have, and how many did that one have, and what was I looking for, and how many scans of those have I done? So I've got to... And of course, if you walk away from the game, you think, what the hell was I doing? What was I scanning? So I designed a nice little spreadsheet that tracks it all for me.
Very organised.
Well, no,
but I think you're a spreadsheet kind of person, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm not.
you can say the word, the nerd word.
I mean, I can do a spreadsheet, but
you should have seen the exploration one.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Well, it was just a way to see.
Think of the fortune you'd save on Valium.
I suppose I should have done something like that, really, because I haven't a clue where I've been in the galaxy. I just know there's a lot of first discovered in my name.
Just backtrack through the trail of destruction, Flossy. You'll be fine.
There's no trail of destruction, chicken pecker.
Yeah, all the corpses and the smoking hulks of ships and...
Not mine.
No, I mean your ships, like the Anaconda you nosedived into the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. That was just some silly grey moment.
I did that.
I heard somebody referring to thrusters, and I thought, I better check mine are okay. And with the light behind the panel, it looked like the thrusters were on, which if I'd have had half a brain cell working, I'd have realised there must have been. But, they're not on, so I clicked on the square and turned what I thought was on, no, of course I turned off. And that's when brain cell finally realised what I'd done.
And that, Your Honour, is how she ended up in the front of the supermarket.
A couple of months ago, I was out in my Explorer.
But these things you can count on one hand that I've done like that.
Well, that's enough.
And I'm sure most people have done similar.
Oh, yes, but it's not as funny.
No,
No, it's only because it's me.
Yes, because we love
I
you.
did it 2 months ago in my Explorer asp, which has tiny shields, 3A shields on an asp, just for bumps and I was hurtling towards this planet, and I'm going, oh, never mind, thrust up, pull back, thrust up, and it sort of belly flopped off the surface, and I lost half the hull, shields and half the hull, and I was a bit careful after that because I was I had about 200 exobio scans.
That's why I now I usually have repair limpets on with me.
So,
in fact, I had them on then. I was going to repair myself after I got into orbit because it was a bit of a hard landing with being a high G planet.
I was only a couple of thousand light years, so I came back, dumped all my data, got a quick repair, and went back out.
No, that's all right.
So anyway, I've talked a lot. So for the mug.
All right, for the mug.
Okay, it's me. Norm, are you there? Are we going to talk to you?
Yeah, you can.
Lovely.
If you want.
Well, you're in the list, so it would seem rude if we did, in case anyone was watching. So yeah, how's your week been?
It's been very busy. Painting, working, more painting, working. Yeah, it's been about it. Painting, working. I've just actually uploaded last week's show for Hutton Orbital.
Yeah, I saw that pop
You'll
up.
be able to catch that in your
8:49.
You'll be able to get that in your podcast catcher. Yeah, and I'm in the midst of doing the edit for Tuesday's live radio. So yeah, it's just falling a bit behind, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We appreciate the effort
Haven't-
you put into making us sound good.
Well, you
Wait
said
a minute,
you
he
guys
makes us
good
sound
anyway.
good?
Oh yeah, the show's only 3 minutes long when he's finished.
Who's getting all my crap
and I
out?
don't even get paid for it as well.
Yeah. Well, we do.
But what? Anyway,
Yeah, we wish.
we're
paid what we're worth. How's that?
I paid what you're worth.
Yeah.
No, you guys are good. You guys are good. So it's normally like a couple of weeks ago when I forgot to actually hit record and having to recreate everything from scratch. So yeah, stuff like that. But it's fun. I still enjoy doing it. So yeah. Anyway, for the mug, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Hello, Flossy. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. It's been a while.
What have you been up to? Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Well, as you probably know, I've been out at Bagel Point on Hanky's carrier.
Yes, and I hear it was a huge party.
Well,
see, what I want to know is that this Wonder Woman outfit, are we going to get to see photos?
Wonder Woman outfit, yeah, right. Oh, goodness me, I don't think you'd find one to fit me.
Would I make that up? Would I? Would I have made that up entirely from nothing?
But as David keeps telling us, these news excerpts are all based on fact.
Some of them stretched a little bit further.
Stretched a hell of a lot.
He keeps telling us these things.
That's what spandex is for.
Yes, well, so as I said, I had to take passengers on my Anaconda. Took Lou and Hanky, and each time I left the planet, they jumped off. Tried to go back and pick them up again, and that happened twice. But the second time, we're actually on the way back to the carrier, and I noticed that the next system was almost at the same point as the escape vector normally would be. So rather than use the escape vector and then jump, I thought, I'll just jump straight to the next system. And of course, when they jumped off, it meant I had to go back again. And it was on the way back I realised that my fuel was getting a little bit low.
Ooh.
And as I'd been using the conda for doing mining in the same system that we were parked in a couple of days before, I'd taken the fuel scope off.
Oh dear. Did the fuel rat have to call the fuel rat?
No, I didn't. Fortunately, I still had plenty of fuel. You know, it was getting a bit low, but it was nothing. I've been worse than that. But I did say that if it happened again, I wouldn't be able to go back until I'd got sorted with the fuel. I didn't have enough to go back a third time. So, yes, it's all very exciting.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I've often found it thrilling when I've been out in the black and I've been really, on fumes.
Yeah.
And you're worried, but it is kind of a thrill.
Well, on the way there, because I've missed the carrier in the bubble, I went up to Colonia for it, and I went by the Newton Highway, and at one point on there, I plotted my next jump, and I looked on the put in the Galaxy map, and it was a dotted line. Oops. A dotted blue line, which meant I couldn't do my neutron jump, so I had to try to find the closest system so I could jump there to get fuel and then go. But luckily, that with the way that works, you do get a bit of a warning. Yeah. So it's another time I jumped in there. I just had the tiniest little bit of fuel left. I thought, I think I'll go to a fuel star next. Oh, great fun! I thought it'd be very embarrassing if I did run out.
I was going to say it must be very embarrassing if a fuel ever runs out. Has it ever happened?
Oh yeah, it does happen. So I wouldn't be the first. I certainly wouldn't be the last. Yeah, I mean we all have lapses of concentration, I suppose. And
it's true, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I was going to say it must have happened.
I also did some mining while I was there as well. Apparently,
now you're talking my language.
Yeah, well, I never go on a carrier now without taking mining equipment, because
that's funny. Neither do I.
Ever since my first carrier trip with on the Cloud Atlas with Prophet Velen, ever since then I've always taken mining equipment because I know that they appreciate tritium, and if I can mine some to donate, then it helps me pay for my trip. So I always take mining equipment. But anyway, at Salome's Reach, there was a planet there with a ring with tritium in it, which was fine.
Yeah.
I managed to mine some there. But then Hanky said that he needed more tritium after he jumped to Beagle Point, and there's nothing there. And I went on quite a long trip, looking at different systems, trying to find a ring with tritium in it.
Yeah.
And eventually found one.
How far away was it?
Well, apparently, I think he said I was 155 light years away, but the route to get there was such a roundabout way, it was more like 200 and odd to reach it. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, and I managed to get him some more tritium and to sell it back to him.
Nice.
No, donate it, not sell it. And let's see. Oh yes, we're going away this weekend to Manchester.
Oh, a trip.
A friend of ours' mother is 90 on Monday.
Wow,
so
90.
She's having a bit of a party, and we're going on Sunday to see her.
Oh, that would be nice.
And I recently made her something for it. There.
You made her something?
Yeah, I'm just trying to... Oh, it won't go. Why won't it go? Oh, that's it, I've done it. I was hitting return instead of pressing chat. And that's a link to a picture of it.
Oh, okay, let me have a look.
So,
oh, wow, oh, that's pretty. How long did that take?
No, probably I don't know, couple of weeks, just sort of doing it sort of on evenings and things. I don't know of the exact time. I wouldn't know.
See, that's cool. I think the present, when you get gifts like that, it's very personal, and those are the best gifts.
I certainly enjoyed making it. I love doing cross stitch, and yeah, I hope she likes it.
I'm sure she will. Anyway, anything else? Do you go to?
No, I think that's about it from me. So I shall say for the mug.
For the mug. Chicks, it's
Chicks
you.
to talk to. Harry, what's his
Sorry,
name? Bounty.
I was talking and I'd muted my mic.
Ah.
And they say there's nothing to the power of prayer. Right.
Yes.
So, yes, this week we spent 3 days looking after a nephew and his 2 kids, feeding them, playing games on the Wii. And then as soon as they went, my lovely wife spent about a day and a half or more cooking biscuits and things for Banter's mother for her 70th birthday on request. And then this afternoon he came and collected them. That's just about my week then. So I'm going to go very quickly. Go on.
It's kind of daft asking you if you've been in game, isn't it?
Yes, I have managed to. I've loaded up. I put the loader up today and got the updates. I always do that. No.
You know the big button, the big blue button on the left? Do you ever, when it says play, not when it says upgrade, do you ever click that?
I did once. I think I did once, but then
I saw you.
Yes, stuff happened to. I just don't get any time. By the time I've done all this,
Too busy cooking.
too busy cooking and do it and getting stuff ready for this. So, oh well, I'll get there one of these days. So in that case, I'm going to let you move on to somebody who has been playing a game. So I'm going to go for the mug. It's Flossy.
It's me to Dr. Litterbreaker. How are you doing?
I haven't been playing the game either. I've been painting the whole stairs and landing.
Oh, that sounds like hard work.
Fun as it sounds.
Flossy, you're supposed to ask him if it's watercolours or oils.
Pastels.
Is it watercolours or oils?
Charcoal.
It's water-based. It's close to watercolours. It's just water-based emulsion.
You're very quiet. I'm having trouble hearing you, sorry.
Oh, sorry. We've had the plasterers in, and they've done a wonderful job of plastering the whole stairs and landing, and now everything's light pink.
Oh, nice.
So it's all being converted to white as we go.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, tonight I'm just relieved to not be holding a paint roller on the end of a 6-foot pole doing the ceilings tonight, so I'm just sitting and relaxing instead for once.
Oh, yeah, that sounds more like it.
Yeah, so for me this week, I'm afraid it's just for a slightly paint-stained mug.
Okay, thank you for the paint-stained mug.
Which gives me to talk to PSBF Ghost.
You.
Instead of typing things in on the ticker that's going across the bottom of the screen. Yes. Ghosty boy, Ghosty, how you doing?
I'm all right now, yeah. I can actually talk properly. Bought a new mic and a PC. I'm actually playing on PC now. So I can actually play with you lot.
Ooh, there's
nice.
Join the master race.
Oh, don't say that. Don't. That's all I get all the time.
Well, that's why. Good job Mia's not here. I think Mia would have a thing to say.
I was going to say, I'm Mia tonight, you splitter. Splitter.
I am. But I've also got the Xbox Series X. I actually got one.
Ooh. Who did you bug to get that?
My dead wife.
Oh. Okay.
Is it any good?
But yeah. It is good. It is absolutely fantastic. The game, the quick start feature is unbelievable. You can jump from one game to another, and it takes, I reckon, about 2.5 seconds.
Wow, that's impressive.
The only game that you don't support is Elite.
Oh.
When you're in that, because you've got to have
a connection to Elite all the time, it like goes, oh, wait a minute, you've disconnected. You've got to start again. And that's the only game it don't do it with. And I've been playing the new flight simulator on it.
Yeah.
Microsoft one. And that is unbelievable. It's actually, the graphics are fantastic. In VR, I have got VR, but in VR, that will look fantastic. So if you can get that on the Xbox X or on PC as well, it's worth it every penny.
And what flight sim is it called?
Microsoft.
Oh, the Microsoft flight sim.
Yeah. It's actually in Game Pass, so it's actually free.
Ooh. You know, I have been considering getting Games Pass. It's just I haven't had enough time to play Elite Dangerous on my PC, let alone playing games on Xbox.
Well, I don't find the time either, really, because I started a new job. And I'm basically going to sleep, and weekend playing the game. And that's about it. But that's my life so far. So anyway, what a mug, and everybody enjoy themselves.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for putting up with us talking amongst ourselves. I mean, obviously, the guests, Aidan Litho and PSVF, it's a pleasure talking to you. We're just chatting amongst ourselves. So thank you very much for putting up with us doing that. I think we're just going to pop back up to the live room, and then we'll have a last bit of chat before we all let you all go. So moving everybody back. Yeah. And that should be us back in the live room. Everybody where?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Lovely. Lovely. Well, that was fun. That was good. I think we managed to stretch it out because of that. Otherwise, it would have been a shortish show. But I think that was fun. It's always nice to talk to people and find out what's been going on.
It really is. I love the green room. I wish more people would attend.
Yeah. It's not like it used to have a lot more when it was every week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk to the guests first in the green room?
What, the beginning of the show, or talk to them and then talk amongst ourselves afterwards? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I suppose we did. I mean, it's alphabetical, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think part of it was also at one point we did end up with quite a few people in the green room who were apart from ourselves, and it just seemed to make sense not to burden them. Just get through stuff a bit quicker by not talking between ourselves. Because sometimes we would actually chat during banter, and then there wasn't a lot to say, so it was quicker to go through it. But with three people,
yeah, and the half-hour banter before the show as well, kind of set up and stuff. A lot of stuff gets said there and then repeated. Yeah. Anyway, it's. I think maybe if it's just a couple, we can.
Yeah, and then we'll just play it by ear each month. Because obviously they should be the ones we concentrate on. So, but which order we do it in doesn't really matter unless they've got to go to bed.
Well, it gives them the option. If they want to bail and not listen to our drivel.
I don't want to listen to our drivel, and I don't get a chance.
I like talking to each other. It's nice seeing what other people, others have done. Don't get a chance to talk the rest of the time.
I do too.
Very true.
So send your opinions to itookpart@huttonorbital.com. No, don't, because I've got to read them all if you do that. Right.
Okay.
Yes, send them.
No.
Tomato tips.
Yes. I've whacked off with tomato tips. Oh dear. Well, that was fun, everybody, and almost completely seamless.
Seamless.
I spotted a couple of things where I missed stuff a bit late, but never mind, that'll do. So I think we're just about ready to go and hang up our spurs, aren't we? So I think it just remains for us to give the traditional chorus.
Let me get hold of my earphones.
So take them off.
Ears.
I've got Amelia Limited.
They're off. They're off.
Okay. The traditional chorus of...
For the paint-stained mug!
For the paint-stained mug!
For the paint-stained mug!
For a what mug?
No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-9s to the brim with rails. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Give me a large pad that I can land on, and I'll give you my cargo and sing you my song. North Part 22 light years to go. Cruising to Hutton, whoa, whoa, whoa. No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Everybody's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger